This is DownHome Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank.
And Superstar Collision, located on Highway 67 in Cedar Hill, to get it done right for your automotive repairs. Choose Superstar Collision. Let's kind of guess what we got. Red Oak softball's own head coach Rogers. Coach, amazing season in the regular season. And let's start with that because we talked right before the season started, really. And, you were talking about, making small adjustments, but staying true to who you are and taking care of those details. And it looks like from the scores and everything else that y'all did exactly that. Talk about how your team responded in this first season, that first little deal there of tournament ball and then into regular season.
Yeah, we played some really good teams in the tournaments and got tested. And because the teams were really good, they kind of showed us where our weaknesses were, things we needed to work on in practice and things we needed to execute better at during games for district play. And I think that sometimes you go into those tournaments and you get exposed a little bit, and it's the best thing that can happen to you because it allows you to go back and to regroup and to get ready for district. And that's what happened. We were able to fix some things, kind of sharpen our game, and be ready to make that district push like we did the year before.
Well, and a lot of people don't think about that, but that first season, that tournament season, that record really doesn't matter that much. It's not going to be for seeding or anything like that. But when you play the schedule that you did, and then you're going to have to go into a tough district. I mean, that's a rough softball district right there because anybody could come out any night and just dominate. You've got a lot of good pitchers, a lot of good hitters. Does that not just vault up the level when you go from the tournament schedule you played into a tough district like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why the tournament season is so important, and even some of the scrimmages that we have, even those aren't even considered real games. But like last year, for instance, going and playing Flower Mound Marcus in a scrimmage and getting beat really bad, but seeing 3 college level pitchers and getting to hit off of those kids and get experience that when you face the kid at Joshua and you face the kid at Ennis that are high level pitchers, you're used to it, or you're used to it as much as you can be. So you don't feel overpowered when you go and face those kids. So you can go win a lot of games in preseason and pad your record, but it doesn't help your program. It doesn't help your kids get ready for those good teams in district.
Well, I get to watch a lot of the different district teams and see what the competition level is there during the season. But I was just shocked this year, with the exception, I think, of one team in the district. The pitching has improved so much in that district. How does that help you with your batters? A lot of people, we talk about the defense and stuff like that, but y'all are racking up 12 runs. It seemed to me like y'all were averaging like 10 runs a game all season long.
Yeah, I think part of that's the ability for us to scout and to know what we're fixing to face, to know what kids throw, and so to really try to prepare our hitters for what they're going to face. Because even though, across the board the pitching is good, it's different, and you're looking for different things, you're looking for different tendencies, and so I know my assistant coach does a really good job of that. Logan loves to do that kind of work, and so us really getting film on people, seeing people in person, and trying to just identify what they like to throw, the sequences they like to use, and to be able to relay that to our kids, and our kids then buy into that and really go in with the game plan. I think that's how we won this last night, 2 games against a really high level pitcher with Sulphur Springs, is that our kids bought into the game plan and they executed. And that kid, it's kind of jumping around out of district, but that kid last night had only given up 8 earned runs in the entire season, and we scored 8 on her last night in 1 game. So the district opponents prepared us for seeing a really high level pitcher, and we were able to get through it.
when y'all are jumping into, you jump off the playoffs. Since you went there, let's go ahead and go with it. But I want to touch one more second on the regular season. I think y'all dominated. I know you're not going to like that word, but a lack of a better term I can't get. Y'all kind of dominated that league during there. And I'm not going to say like you just won everything outright. What I'm saying is you won in all the phases of the game. Okay. I thought y'all's pitching was excellent. Your defense was stout pretty much the entire season long. Your outfield was amazing in my personal judgment. Your pitching and catching was great. You got a lot of things happening there. And your infield played exceptionally well all season. And that's what I'm saying. But some teams would come out with two of those. Some nights, your bats might be hot, or you might have a hot pitcher. To me, the reason I say that is because I felt like y'all were there every night as a complete team the times I got to see it.
That's definitely our what our strength is. We've been preaching to our kids all year. We've got 12 girls that when you count our 3 freshmen that have played high level select ball coming into this year, we have 12 kids that have a lot of varsity experience. And that's not every team can say that. You might have 5 or 6 that return from a year that have a lot of experience. And then you either have a couple of freshmen or JV kids moving up. And that's a unique thing for us this year that we have, counting those 3 freshmen, we have 12 girls coming off the bench that aren't starting, that have been in starting roles in previous years. And so, when you're subbing someone in, it's not I hope they can do this. I don't know if they can. But no, there's a confidence that, hey, this kid's getting a pinch hit, or this kid's going in to play defense somewhere because we know they can do it because they've shown it before. And so, and so it allows each phase of the game to be successful because we have that depth.
Well, and when we talk about that depth, right, the hardest thing to me to do is go in to hit after you've been sitting all day.
Oh yeah.
You start going in the 6th inning, you need a big hit. And talk about that ability, because I know y'all have come through with some clutch hit late in innings this year as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably hitting may be the hardest thing to do in all of sports. I mean, you look at obviously 300 or 30% is considered good. You fail a lot, and then on top of that, you're asked to come in and you haven't gotten those earlier at bats, and not only are you pinch hitting and it's the 6th inning and you've been sitting, but then it's never a situation that doesn't matter. It's always a key situation where there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure that you can't mimic in practice that adds to it. And so, asking the kid to come in and again, last night that happened with our pitcher. We had our freshman pitcher in the game to close it out. She pitched 4 innings, great. And she was kind of in the flex position to start with, where she wasn't playing defense, where she wasn't hitting. She was playing defense. And she was asked to come in the game, and she lays down a bunt, scores a run on like a safety squeeze, sacrifice bunt against, a pitcher again that's been dominant and is able to do it. So, it's not easy, but our kids again have bought into understanding that we have confidence in them to do that, or they wouldn't be put in that situation. And they're really keeping their eye open in the dugout of what's going on and what to look for early in the game, talking to their buddies, talking to the coaches to make sure that they are ready when they get the opportunity.
Well, and to me, it's just even more amazing because I don't think people ever look at this, because we always say they're a freshman, they're a senior, they're a junior, but it's a 14-year-old going against an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
That's headed to college. I mean, once you put the numbers to it, to me, it even sounds that much more impressive when you actually look at the ages of these young ladies disparage-wise.
Right. Yeah. And then, a lot of the girls are coming from playing, even if it's high level select, they're playing only a lot of times only kids that are their own age. And so, they're asked to come in and play someone who's, fixing to go live on their own at the college level in 2 or 3 months. And they're out there battling with those kids and succeeding a lot of the times.
Well, and one of the things I like about your program is when you talked about the scouting, right? Y'all don't just take it, we're just on the field. Y'all are doing a lot of pre-prep work. And, a lot of the coaches that go out there and do that scout work, that can make or break you, especially in a 3-game series. Talk about how that's been an effective part of the program.
I just think it gives our kids confidence. I look back at my own career playing baseball and basketball in high school, and I wish I'd have had more film on myself hitting to know how, to know how good of a hitter I could have been, or what I was doing in my swing, or what the opponents were doing to other pitchers. I wish I could have had that for myself, and I know how valuable that had been for me as a player. And so, we want that for our kids. It's like even today, we played 2 games yesterday. We didn't get back to the school till about 12:45, 1 a.m. We didn't practice today, but we watched film. We found film of Roy City, who we're fixing to play. We found film on them on YouTube. And so we sat in the office with our team and we watched film. We watched their pitcher. We watched what her tendencies were, what she likes to do, from their last series they just played. And I hope that our kids learn a little bit from it. And if nothing else, they just get some confidence to know that they can go up there and hit her. So
is it not, I think, my personal opinion is y'all are aggressive. I love watching y'all bat, because it seems like everybody's it's not waiting on your pitch. It's going up there and saying, that's the pitch. I'm going to make it do this. I'm going to take it where it wants to go. And is that not a great thing as a team attitude to kind of have sometimes, especially in a short series like this?
Yeah, I want our kids to be selective, but you can't. I told my girls this last week. We're not going to ever play someone again this year that's not a playoff team. Every team you're playing from now on has good pitching. So they're going to throw more strikes. They're going to have better movement. They're going to have all those things. So yeah, you're looking for pitches that are over the plate. And even at the highest levels, kids miss over the plate. So you've got to be aggressive on those pitches and hit those pitches, and then try to lay off the stuff that's up in the zone or outside. But yeah, when the ball's over the plate, you have to be aggressive on those pitches to have success.
Well, I mean, are y'all taking the mentality, Coach? And I'm going to stick on hitting for a second, if you don't mind. But don't let the umpire take this game from you. I mean, you start seeing people get a little bit nervous, a little bit more tense during the playoffs. Calls are going to be a little bit tighter, on that thing. They're going to give them a ball inside and outside, sometimes depending on the umpire. We've seen strike zones change during games this year. Not to say anything bad, but it has happened. Mm-hmm. And does that not make it more important to kind of be, if it's within this zone that's in my wheelhouse, whether it's inside or outside, take your hack right then, because you may not see something that good again.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between our level and the next level. When you watch on ESPN, you watch the college level. Those kids at that level, they're better hitters, and they don't have as many misses on balls that are in the strike zone. So, we want to take our kids, and all those balls that are thrown over the plate, we don't want to foul them straight back or swing and miss at them. We want to be able to attack those balls and hit them. And with the umpires, we really try to have our girls, learn the umpire strike zone in the first inning. Learn it while you're on defense. If we're the home team, talk to our catcher after the inning's over with, find out what he's giving, find out what he's not giving, and really try to zone in on what he's going to call for that night. And at this level, we as coaches, we get to request umpires, request different chapters that are doing well. And so, umpires want to do a good job. They want to be consistent. They're trying to hone in on their craft as well. So, this time of year, you don't see as much of a guy or a girl being inconsistent. They're trying to do a great job. And these last 2 series we've had, the umpires have been pretty consistent, and we've been able to go in that first inning and really, okay, hey, he's not calling anything above the belt. You've got to lay off of it and do, and the team that does that as soon as possible, the quickest, it has more success. So we look for that same thing this next series, that we know we've got a good chapter calling our the crew for this series, and we've got to do a good job of finding that what that umpire likes and going with it.
Well, and then, in a small series, I'm just asking these questions for you, but in a small series, does it make it easier to go ahead and bat first and kind of have an ideal of what, for your pitchers, what he's given that night?
I think it can. It doesn't. For me, honestly, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get the same number of at bats. I think if you're going to win a flip, you always pick to be home. You always like to have that last at bat, or you hopefully only have to hit 6 times if you can you get them out in the top of the seventh. You only had to hit 6 times and you get the win. But if you lose the flip or whatever, and you're the visitors, that doesn't hurt our feelings either. We like to score because I think most teams would say that they play a little looser, play a little more confident if they can score first. So being the visitors isn't always necessarily bad.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm enamored by your outfield. I'm not joking. How many balls actually dropped this year? It didn't seem they'd have to be a screamer, line drive, or a rope or something. But if they were up in the air, it seemed like your girls got to it every time. Talk about how much that helps the team out.
Well, yeah, anytime you can, any ball in the air that can be caught is a huge advantage because there's no throw that has to be made. So, ground ball, you got to do 2 things well. You got to, 3. You've got to field it. You got to make a good throw, and then the first baseman or whoever the receiver is has got to make a good catch. So, on a fly ball's hit, when you just only have to do one thing well, it's to your benefit as a defense. So, we, depending on who's up to bat, we like to play our infielders a little bit shallow and take away bloopers. If a kid hammers the ball over our head and burns us, you got to tip your cap to that hitter and say, man, that kid did a good job and she burned us that time, and get the ball in as fast as you can, because you're not going to catch a lot of those balls, even if you're playing deep, if they're hit really, really hard. So, our philosophy is try to take away mishits if we can, and we'll live with the ball that burns us more often than not, because our pitching's good, and we know they're not going to burn us over and over and over again. That's a rarity. So yeah, I think by part of that's our outfielders doing a good job of attacking balls and going and having the confidence to catch them, and then part of it's us, depending on who's up to bat, moving outfielders and making adjustments to who's hitting. And not just leave them in the same spot every time. But that goes back to that scouting piece of it, to know, hey, this kid's a threat to hit it deep, so let's play a little bit deeper, or this kid has no power, so let's play a little more shallow and bet that she can't hit it over our head.
Well, and looking at your drive for the playoffs right now, you take out North Forney, then you took out Sulphur Springs just the other day, and now on to Royce City. And, Royce City, that was a pretty darn good softball district as well up there.
Yes.
I know that Forney pitcher has been excellent all year long, but does that not, iron sharpens iron? You are going to have a battle this week. What are you doing that you think you can take advantage of? Is it, slap hitting? Is it power hitting? Is there some aspect of y'all's game that you think can dominate in this game, or is it just going to have to be a team effort? Find your base hits when you can get them, and get those third outs when you have that opportunity.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's, our kids that can hit for power when the ball's missed over the plate, which every pitcher does miss every once in a while. When that ball's missed, we've got to hit it. Our slappers have got to put the ball in play. As slappers put the ball in play consistently, no matter how good of a defense you have, it puts pressure on the defense because they can run. And so I think if we can consistently put the ball in play with our short game and create havoc and put pressure on their defense, good things will happen. But they're a good team. They wouldn't be in this position if they weren't. So I have every expectation that it's a tight series and that both teams are going to fight it out. And whoever can make the fewest mistakes, I think, will win the series.
Well, and you mentioned a young pitcher a while ago, Emily, right? I mean, to be able to do that, to come in and stuff, but you've had pretty consistent pitching all year long. But to be able to do that with a player that you got as a defensive player to pull them in, how much of a big advantage is that for y'all to be able to have that versatility, not only in the infield, but in the circle as well?
Yeah, I think it's huge. That ended up being a doubleheader. So, you playing 14 innings in one day. And obviously, no matter how good the pitchers are, they get tired. And so being able to switch and still have a pitcher that can go out there and get outs and that your defense is confident in is huge. But you also, we haven't had it happen this year, but a lot of times a playoff game might go extra innings. And even if it's scheduled to be one game a day, you still might have a 10-inning game or 11-inning game where you just need that extra pitcher to go. And so, we talk about our season being 3 separate seasons, the tournament stuff and the district and then the playoffs. And, district, yeah, you're playing just once every Tuesday, once every Friday. Your one pitcher can get you through that a lot of times because you always have those days of rest in between. And in playoffs, you don't have that. It's Friday, Saturday, Monday in this series, and so yeah, if you have a long game Friday night, and it's towards the end of May, it's hotter outside, it's more humid. That affects it, affects our kids. So yeah, having multiple pitchers is always a bonus, and that freshman kid Natalie got a lot of confidence last night, a lot of experience. I mean, four plus innings against the 7th ranked team in the state, and was able to just mow them down and keep them from coming back. And we were down by I think 3 or 4 runs when she came in, and she held it close, allowed our offense to score, and then shut them down when we got the lead. So yeah, it's definitely a great thing to have, with having her there to go and when we need her. So yeah, you can't have enough pitching ever in baseball or softball.
No. But there's a little bit of a difference when you've got somebody that's that kind of quality, either as a starter, as a relief pitcher, because with your team, because the pitching is such a high level on whoever you got going out there, does it not make that defense not have that drop for a minute? Okay. I mean, these girls are coming in and they're slinging strikes right off the bat. It's not like, baseball that you get to go to the bullpen, warm up. Softball sometimes, especially if you're out in the outfield, you're not getting that many warm-up pitches, But does it not make it a better situation when you've got such confidence from the first 2 seasons in these pitchers to walk into that playoff game and they know cold, warmed up, starter, relief, we're going to get that best pitch from that pitcher?
Yeah, I think it helps the defense play with more confidence. Especially from a baseball background, baseball is just naturally a slower game. And, you do a lot more just kind of standing around defensively with the pitchers, walking around the mound, warm-up pitches are longer, all those things. And so, you tend to lose focus maybe a little bit, or it just takes longer to play each inning. And in softball, you don't have that. There's more energy. It's a quicker paced game. Kid gets in there pumping strikes. And so I think as a defense, it keeps you loose, and it keeps you kind of honed in on what's going on, because it does seem to go faster, and there's not as much of a dead time in between pitches. And so I think that helps all 9 kids out there, not just the pitcher, because it keeps them all in the game.
Well, and the other thing is one of the things I love about softball. Your team looks like a college-ready team, noise-wise. I mean, softball can be such a fun game because they're encouraging the entire time. And is it not important to have that bench over there in the game consistently? I always look at it like cross country. When you break a runner, okay, the first team that quits hollering in softball might be in trouble. But y'all have done a great job of encouraging that environment to where everybody's getting that energy.
Yeah, I mean, we even have some of our JV kids and managers that are great about just not just being loud in the dugout. You can be loud and make noise that's just making a noise, and that sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But being intentional about encouraging your teammates, picking them up when something hasn't gone okay, learning from a mistake that happens, so where we can move forward and leave it in the dugout, go play defense, and not refocus on it, not create a mistake on defense as well. Our kids are intentional about just trying to encourage their teammates and not just make noise, not just create a loud environment. That's not the goal. The goal is to encourage them and to keep them going, because this is a game of failure. We're going to fail a lot. Even when we're having success individually, you're going to fail a lot at the plate, especially. So having that intentional encouragement is a big part of what goes on in the dugout, definitely.
Coach, we got games Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Folks, and you can go to their web page or Facebook page and double check those times and everything in case anything does change, because it's a weird world right now that we're in. But, Coach, what in those first 2 parts of the season, your tournaments and your regular your playoff, district season, what is the thing that has impressed you most about this year's team with those 2 aspects?
I think just the ability to deal with adversity. You look at the district season, and we played Ennis at home. We played in, I think it was because of a rain out. We ended up playing 3 straight days on spring break because of rain. Played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it was. It seems like forever ago. So my memory's not great. That third game was against Ennis. Man, they came out and played well. We weren't sharp. We weren't ready to play. They beat us 11-0. But then we go to their place, second half of districts, and find a way to beat them, find a way to hit their good pitcher, Aubrey. And so just having that resiliency, or that being able to bounce back from those times where we had adversity, I think that's what, really propelled us yesterday. We played a great Sulphur Springs team. They have a great dominant pitcher. Their record, I think, was like 30-2, and we gave them 2 losses in the same day. And I told our kids, I was like, I don't know their team. I know they're well coached. I know their kids play hard, but when you're 30-2, you haven't had a lot of adversity. You won a lot of games, and rightfully so. They've got a really good pitcher. They hit the ball well. And so once we won the first game yesterday, it's like, hey, how are they going to deal with this? And to their credit, they came out and scored the first 5 runs of game 3. They didn't back down, and we had to show that resiliency again to come back and to fight and to take the lead in the top of the bottom of the 6th to take the lead for good. But I just think that by having some of those adversity situations during the regular season, it prepared us for yesterday to know that we can come back, we can get it done, even when sometimes it doesn't look like it's going to happen. If we can still get it done.
Coach, that's awesome. As always, we wish you the best of luck. Yeah, let's kind of guess what we got. The Italy Gladiator softball team just tearing it up this year. Coach, let's just start off. I mean, if you look at that record, that is, I know why you've been ignoring my calls, because I know you don't want to talk about it, but we got to at some point. I mean, yes. How proud are you of that accomplishment? Because that takes a lot, and it takes a lot of team effort to achieve something like that.
So we started off the year. I told the girls we were gonna hit the ground running and have a hard schedule this year. So, and we did. We, up our tournaments. We got 18 games in before we were done with tournaments and started district. So I knew that it was going to be tough for them. But I feel like they have grown tremendously, and their fight and their energy and stuff when they get on that field, it's different than last year. They had it last year, but now they've overcome just a lot of little things that we battled last year. But it's great to have everybody back. That's one positive. To have the whole group there, it's the same group as last year. We've added a couple of freshmen into our group. And just, I couldn't ask for a better group of girls.
Well, and Cadence, when you have such a long season last year, right? Y'all have a great run and you got everybody returning. Does that not help with those bonds to where, you've been through a season, you got the moments where I guarantee coach has to come and say, okay, ladies, time out. Okay. Hopefully that didn't happen to y'all, but it does happen occasionally. Sure. But does that not make it a lot easier just knowing that y'all have a goal to accomplish and finish something out?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. I mean, we've all been with each other through, or I've been there for 2 years, others longer, but we just know in a sense we all have each other's back, and even little things we're not going to let it get in the way, because the next day on the bus, we're going to get on there and get goofy and get ready for the game.
That's awesome. Well, Carrie, what did the tempo just pick up day one? Was it just the same tempo y'all left off with? Maybe a half step back, but did y'all pick up the tempo really quick?
The day we started practice, I had just came out of basketball, and me and another freshman did. And as soon as we got there, it was like we had never left. For me, it was like I'd never stepped off the field for however long it is, from volleyball to softball now. Like as soon as I stepped on, it was like the same energy and everything out of like everybody. And even T Rich, she stayed on us like we had just finished that game with Crawford last year.
Yeah. Well, Yannick, I got to call you the yawn from now on. Okay. Because
Why?
everybody in the infield's yawning, waiting. Okay.
Yeah.
You've been pitching great this season. But my big question to you is that the defense from the numbers, right, looks like it's even gotten better. How does it feel to see that improvement, knowing, you've got speed in the outfield? You added a couple of freshmen out there. I think one freshman out in the outfield, correct?
Yeah, her
yes,
sister.
sir, it's my sister.
Yeah. Okay. And see, I've been to a game. I have to go at all these different games. But when you have that extra speed in the outfield, a good infield, is that not a pitcher's dream?
Yes, sir. It really is. Like, especially since the playoffs started, like even before, but like whenever you start playing playoff teams, like that they're gonna hit it, like the ball's gonna get put into play more than maybe they did in district. And so like I've gotten kind of used to the ball getting put in play a little bit these past couple weeks, and it just doesn't scare me at all. Like the ball would be hit hard, and my defense is behind me making diving plays coming across the field. Like Carrie will come across and take away a ball, hit up the middle and throw it to first. And Macy makes a diving play just about every game, and Kinley doesn't miss anything at first. It's amazing. And the outfield too, especially Landry in center.
Oh, it makes it easy. Well, Coach, one of the things I always find fascinating about y'all down there in Italy is it doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter what the game is, a district game, whatever. It seems like y'all have done an amazing job of teaching these young ladies. Once you step on that field, it's 100%. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't seem like, and I'm going to credit you with this because it's a hard thing to do. They don't ever play down to their opponent. They continue to try to play at a high level. What do you attribute that to?
I would say just the leadership on the, in the group, 3 of them right here on tonight, just making sure that we do whatever it takes, to get to Crawford, get past Crawford, and move on to what our goal is. We had a great journey last year, and we said then, we're coming back full force and gonna do whatever it takes to get there, to state, because the seniors, they deserve it. They worked hard last year, hard this year, so they deserve to be in that state run. And the leadership, they've grown, like I told you earlier, they've grown a whole lot. So I ask them to do things and they do it, I don't typically have to yell. I don't, I just, hey guys, I need y'all to do this. Let's go do it. We talk about let's play every team like it's one of these playoff groups. Even in district, let's work on the small things so that way when we get there, we're able to, complete and meet our goal.
And Carrie, when Coach is talking about these little things, right? Most softball games, baseball games too, it's won by the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. That's normally who wins, especially when you start getting deep into the playoffs. How are y'all able to just like take a mistake, brush it off, and be right back in it and know what your correction is so quickly?
So I'm going to give our little secret out. But we have a little something that happens in the middle. And usually it helps us just relax. And we know that if we make a mistake, that the next thing that happens, that we're not going to make the same mistake that happened.
Well, is it just easy for y'all because there's such trust to allow that to just wash off, if you like it, water off a duck's back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Kate, someone come to you with something that I've noticed over this year. And how many different claps do y'all have? I mean, there's like, okay, if I watched everybody's feed, I think there's like 20 that y'all got going on over there.
We have about 1 million different rhythms we can bring. We have a whole drum, probably major on our team. She be acting like she has a whole drum set. And we just try to get as lit as we can in the dugout because like our dugout energy sets the tone for the whole game.
Well, and does that not help, like when we're talking about, something, it's a big inning, just hearing all those people from a dugout chanting for you, chanting for Emily, whoever it might be, right? Or a big play or double ball. How much does that help on the field when you start to feel that energy?
I love the energy. Like when I come up to bat, I hear the dugout just yelling for me or want to make a good play. Just to hear our fans, or not our fans, but like our family out in the stands, just like cheering us on, the dugout cheering you on. It just sets an extra load of confidence on you. Makes you feel like you've got it.
Well, and Emily, go ahead. Somebody was going to say something?
No, it was my dad in the background. I was trying to tell him to be quiet. Be quiet.
Oh, okay.
I'm on a Zoom meeting.
That's funny.
Okay,
Hey,
adulting 101 here. Okay.
Hey, Maddie Guidry leads
Right.
our dugout. Maddie Guidry's she was a drum major for band this past year. She's about to try out again this year, but she gets those drumsticks, her and a couple other kids, and they just get to go. And so it's pretty cool.
Well, no, I mean, last year we were able to do a little video for y'all, and whoever was drumming last year actually drummed exactly the beat that we had for the song, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So, no, y'all got some good drummers down there too.
Yes.
But Emily, so what is one of the biggest things to you? I mean, one of the things I saw y'all did earlier in the season was, and it's not all about, this journey is amazing, but what y'all are able to do with this journey in the community is even more amazing. Like I've seen y'all warm up with some little kids, out there just soft tossing the ball on one knee. What does it mean to be a mentor out in the community to other women to say, and I want to ask all three of you ladies this question, but what does it really mean to y'all to be able to take a sport and be successful at a sport and then translate that into being a leader in the community and a leader of women? Emily first.
Well, honestly, that part just makes me love softball even more and playing sports in general. But like softball is my sport and it's our sport, like all three of us. And it just makes me feel so good to know that like these little girls, like these little kids look up to me and everyone else on my team to set an example for what they want to be, because they want to be a Lady Gladiator when they grow up. And our town just gives us so much support also, like from the first game for the first round, like we've had a send off for every single game downtown for our family and like whatever fans like wanted to come. And it's just been really amazing.
Well, and Carrie, is that not a memory that you're going to carry with you the rest of your life, is being on that bus? I mean, and just going crazy, pink hats, you name it, right? And yeah, that was whoever's wearing that cap looked really, that was a primo right there. So, but I mean, but when you take this experience, right, and you look back at the town and the love that they're giving y'all, does it not make you want to do more around town and do more for some of these little kids?
Yes, sir. I liked how T-Rich brought in how we brought the community out to one of our games, because it just shows like that they can do it too. And I think they really look up to us, and them being out there was probably over the moon for them. So, and I like seeing their smiles on their faces was pretty amazing. So.
When you're driving that bus and all those little kids are out there holding signs, and I guarantee you, somebody's got your number, somebody's got Gary's number. Every number is represented, right? What does it mean to you to be that kind of mentor to young women?
It's really amazing. Like, softball has like really helped me get into Italy. Like it showed me like a lot of people and like how I met what I can call like my second family. And just like on the kids like night, I was like paired up with 3 different girls, and one of the girls just came to almost every playoff game, and I try to go out to her games. And like the last game was like 2 hours away almost. So it just shows you how much like what we do really means to them and how much they really look up to us.
Well, Coach, in talking to you and knowing you just a little bit, to hear young women talking about giving back and paying it forward, all those kinds of things. And I know this is an emphasis of your program, and I always love covering this. It's one of the reasons I love covering Italy sports is y'all give back to the community in multiple ways. But does it not make you feel great when you hear young women talking about the ability to touch somebody's life and to perpetuate that Texas town heart, that Italy heart?
Absolutely, Tater. I'm almost sitting here in tears. I'm trying to hold them back because, that's what matters the most in my coaching is how the kids are going to be when they leave me. And I think, touching the lives of little kids or, touching the lives of the community just makes it more impactful and truly tells people what our program is all about. These little kids at the elementary and they play IYAA, they want, Emily's jersey number. They want to be Cadence. They want to be Carrie. They want to be Ella. They want to be so many of them. And the night that we actually had that, I was just amazed. The girls embraced it and sat with the girls and talked to them about, what they're doing in their sport and how they're doing in school. And it was the best night ever. Just to see them interact with that and the community, it's so many calls or emails or texts saying that it was just so wonderful. And we hope to continue, doing that every year. And we hope to continue to touch the lives of the little ones. I know, my own children, they were impacted by girls that played softball years ago, and they wanted to be just like them too. And that it made a difference in their lives. So I truly believe that, these girls are going to make differences in these young kids' lives. So I hope they continue with that, impression and just keep building on it.
Well, and folks, if you don't realize this, these ladies were kind enough to come on. Coach Rich is, of course, the NHS sponsor down there in Italy, and they had the NHS the awards tonight, a joint confirmation, correct? Is that what they call it?
It's induction and installation.
Okay.
So our team members come in, the old ones go out, officers and things like that. Tater, we have 11 NHS members on our softball team. 11. So that's pretty cool.
It's more than cool to this fat guy, okay? Because there ain't nobody I don't think you have to worry about grades on your team too much, okay?
You're
so,
right. Yeah.
But, Coach, I'm going to stick with you on this one. It's just, I know everybody gets wrapped up in, moving forward in the playoffs. And trust me, ladies, we got your back here, okay? As far as rooting for y'all and everything else. But the thing I'm rooting for y'all more on is, Coach, they're smart, they're talented, they're hungry. I mean,
Absolutely.
And they're community driven. Yes. What else could you want? And all the stuff that we hear about, Coach, that's all the negative. Is it not just a ray of sunshine to get to see a group of young women like this that take the reins and say, we can make a difference?
It's amazing. It's, we have had our battles outside of our program this year, and the doubt or the what do we call it, the haters. I hate to use that word, or people that don't think that what we do is is important, or what we're doing in our program is important, and all the things that we do, or all the things that you just said, or what makes it important, and excited to be a part of it. I love the whole group with my whole heart. They'll probably tell you that.
Well, Carrie, I'm going to switch to you real quick, okay? And I'm not going to try to make Coach Rich cry anymore because I'm about to start crying, okay? I'm being serious. But what is y'all's theme this year? What's your motto going in these playoffs?
So it's basically just play. So like Tira said earlier, like when we were in district, we would always be like, play this person like you're playing a playoff team. And that's kind of like how we've gone. We've always had like one foot in front of the other. And I think that like us going into it will be no problem. And with everybody being like we got it. So.
And how loud is it going to be? And Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think y'all play tomorrow night.
Yes, sir, we do.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in Waco.
Okay. So Cadence, how loud is that bus going to be on the way down there? And I mean, you got an hour drive, right? I mean, how loud can y'all make that bus get?
I mean, I'm sitting in the very back, and we keep it pretty loud on the bus. We always got the speaker going, dancing around, singing our lungs out, just screaming. I'm pretty sure like T-Rich and Michael and Reeves, all our coaches are about tired of us by the time we get there, because it's nonstop chaos and we're just getting as hyped as we can for the game.
That's awesome. Well, Emily, I'm going to come to you. You know, I'm going to leave this one with you right now. What is that moment this season that you were like, thus far, you're in the playoffs and stuff, but has there been a moment where you just look back and that you look back at it and say, this is what we needed to take that next step? Was it a tournament game or anything else where y'all were like, yeah, that's kind of the thing? Or was it just an accumulation of everything this year?
It was really just an accumulation of everything. Like there's big moments that I can look back on, like from last year and like this year in my head, that were just like big like exciting plays and stuff. But really it's just an accumulation of everything. Like at the beginning of the season, like, yeah, you have to kind of get started and get going. And, it was like we were playing in freezing cold temperatures. And so it was hard. Like, honestly, like anybody can say that it was hard to want to be there because of how cold it was. But like, so we had to have that mental capacity basically the whole preseason before district. And so, yeah, we just kind of took off whenever district started and then kind of builded.
I wouldn't say you took off when district started. I thought y'all were doing pretty darn good before district.
Well, I meant like, what I meant was like, I don't know.
You're fine. I'm just playing with you, okay? I'm just playing with you. But no, district, y'all took off like a rocket ship, okay? But, Coach, let's get those dates. Let's get those times. Let's get those locations and get some folks out there from Ellis County.
All right, so we play tomorrow night in Waco at 6 p.m. Crawford is the home team that night. And then we all have Thursday off. Cadence is graduating from Navarro with her associate's degree. Absolutely, yeah, we're proud of her. So we took that night off, and then Friday we play again back in Waco at 6 p.m. and we'll be the home team. Our plan, our goal is that would be it, and we win in 2. But if there is an if game, it's Saturday at 11 in Waco as well.
Hey, did everybody buy Coach some earplugs? Because that's a lot of bus driving time right there. Let me tell you.
Hey, but I will take it any day. I enjoy listening to them. Have a good time. So they deserve it. They absolutely deserve to have a good time and enjoy themselves.
Definitely. Well, ladies from Down Home Sports, myself, Seth couldn't be here tonight. He really wanted to be. Congratulations on an amazing season, and keep being who you are, please. Okay, Coach Rich, I'm just going to tell you, you're a joy to talk to. You're a joy to watch coach, and the impact that you're making on our communities is thoroughly amazing. In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.